Krishna prati hoya te Krishna prati hoya te Guru mukha padma vakya chitte te koriya kya Guru mukha padma vakya chitte te koriya kya Arna kariya mane asha Arna kariya mane asha Shri Guru Charane Rate Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Rate Aise Uttama Gati Ye prasade pure sarva asa Ye prasade pure sarva asa Chakudan dilo jai janme janme prabhu se Chakudan dilo jai janme janme prabhu se Divya gyan hriday prakashita Divya gyan hriday prakashita Prema bhakti jayate avidya vinashayate Prema bhakti jayate avidya vinashayate Vedikaya jara charita Vedikaya jara charita Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Lokana Lokara Jivana Lokana Lokara Jivana Ha Prabhu Kar Daya Deya More Padu Jaya Ha Prabhu Kar Daya Deya More Padu Jaya Evijash Gutu Tribhuvana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana अपरे लयन शरणा प्रभु करो दया दे हमारे पद जाया प्रभु करो दया दे हमारे पद जाया जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद 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 नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य विषतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद जय गौरभक्तवृंद जय गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hare. Jai Satinandana, Jai Satinandana, Jai Satinandana, Gaura Hare. Jai Satinandana, Jai Satinandana, Jai Satinandana, Gaura Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe. Radhe Radhe Shyam Sundar, Shyam Sundar Radhe, Radhe Radhe Shyam Sundar, Shyam Sundar Radhe. Radhe Radhe Shyam Sundar, Shyam Sundar Radhe, Radhe Radhe Shyam Sundar, Shyam Sundar Radhe. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Sham Sundar Radha Sham Sundar Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hare Bol Hare Bol Hare Bol Nitai Gaur Hare Bol. Jaya Nitya Leela Pravishta Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Stotra Shri Srimad Abhayacharanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. ISKCON Pratishtata Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Stotra Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki. Vrindavan Mathura Dham ki. Navadip Mayapur Dham ki. Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai ki. Bhakti Devi Tulasi Maharani ki. Yugadharma Harinam Sankirtan Mahayagya ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution ki. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki. Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki. Shri Krishna Balaram ki. Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ji ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. Nidai Gaur Manande Hari Hari Gaur. New Ramanrati Dham ki. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru Gauranga and Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So, today is the disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami. So, I am going to read something from a book by Giriraj Swami called Many Moons. This is a fantastic book. If you have not read it and you'd like to, we sell them in the gift shop. Wonderful book, appreciating different devotees. So here's something he wrote. On the occasion of the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami, he was giving a class. This was in 2009. He was giving this class. He said, when I first heard of some of Bhakti Tirtha Swami's preaching, specifically to members of the black community, I was a little surprised because I'd never heard anyone preach like that. Srila Prabhupada, at least superficially, never preached like that. So I wondered what was going on. But then I had the opportunity, together with His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami, to visit Maharaja's institution in Washington, D.C., the Institute for Applied Spiritual Technology, IFAST. And we met some of the devotees who had come to Krishna consciousness by his preaching. I was very impressed by them, extremely impressed. They were intelligent, sincere, competent, and respectful. They were just wonderful. It was so nice to be there with them. After attending the morning program and seeing the devotees there, seeing the organization, we had breakfast and later lunch with His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. And he explained some of his unique approach. He told us that he had people chanting 16 rounds and following the 4 principles, engaging in the service of Krishna and the worship of Krishna for months, if not years, before they knew that such a thing as the Hare Krishna movement even existed. So I thought, wow, how did he do that? How does he do that? Srila Prabhupada himself made many innovations, and some of his godbrothers criticized him. They thought he wasn't following strictly or that he was deviating. They had certain misconceptions about Srila Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada would say, Phalena parichiyate. You have to judge by the result. And we could see the results of Bhakti Tirtha Swami's preaching at IFAST. The number of people who had joined, the caliber of the people, and the way in which they had been trained and engaged, it was striking. And then he just goes on and on to speak about some of the accomplishments of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. It's a really nice lecture, and then he talks about his purpose. Very worth reading. It's a wonderful book. So on this day, we remember him and miss him and think of some of the wonderful preaching that he did for Srila Prabhupada. So, yes?
Can I just say something about the
Sure.
He left the foundation which helped me out while I was going through cancer.
Uh-huh.
They sent me a check.
Okay, that's very nice. I didn't know he even had such a foundation. He always cared so much about each devotee and their goodwill and their health and their spiritual life. He came to speak at my home in Sarasota when I used to have programs there when I lived there, and he came in his African dress. So he knocked on the house next door thinking it was my house, and when the lady opened the door, she said, "Oh, you want that lady next door." And then he came. We had about 75 people come that night. It was really very nice. All right, these are the devotees who assisted their spiritual master dressing the deities today. Shishi Radha Sham Sundar, Nitai Priya Prabhu, Chota Radha Sham Sundar, Govinda Mohini Prabhu, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram, Guru Prasad Prabhu, Chota Krishna Balaram, Govinda Mohini Prabhu, Shri Shri Gaurnitai, Vajra Prabhu, Chota Gaurnitai, Gandharvika Prabhu, Gurus and Lord Nrsingadev, Krishna Kripa Moya Prabhu. And Krishna Sarup is going to give the class today. And I think this might be our last day for a while of these invitations. So thank you, everyone, for working on them.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachare Tira Vanachare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारे जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारे यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारे यमुनातीरवनचारे जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज विहारी जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य सूत्र सदश्री श्रीमद्भैचरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर जी की श्री कृष्ण बलराम की दाई गौर सुंदर की समवेत भक्तवृंद की श्रील प्रभुपाद की दाई गौर समानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। This morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 44, the killing of Kamsa, text number 38, 39. starting from 39 up to 47. Hare Krishna. Sa nityada udvignadhiya tam ishwaram piban nadan va vicharan swapan swasan dadarsha chakrayudham agrato yatas tadeva rupam duravapam apa sanityadudvignadhiya tameswaram sanityadudvignadhiya tameswaram pivan nadan va vicharan swapan swasan pivan nadan va vicharan swapan swasan dadarsha chakrayudhamagrato yatas dadarsha chakrayudhamagrato yatas tadeva rupam duravapamaha tadeva rupam duravapamaha sanityadudvignadhiya tameswaram piban nadan va vicharan swapan swasan dadarsha chakrayudhamagrato yatas tadeva rupam duravapamaha sanityadudvignadhiya tameswaram piban nadan va vicharan swapan swasan dadarsha chakrayudhamagrato yatas tadeva rupam duravapamaha Krishna sanityadudvignadhiya tameswaram piban nadan va vicharan swasan dadarsha chakrayudhamagrato yatas tadeva rupam duravapamaha sanityadudvignadhiya tameswaram piban nadan va vicharan swapan swasan dadarsha chakrayudhamagrato yatas tadeva rupam duravapamaha. Mataji. Sanityadudvignadhiya tameswaram piban nadan va vicharan swapan swasan dadarsha chakrayudhamagrato yatas tadeva rupam duravapamaha sanityadudvignadhiya tameswaram Saha, he, Kamsa, Nityada, constantly, Uddivigna, anxious, Dhiya, with mind, Tam, him, Ishwaram, the Supreme Lord, Pivan, while drinking, Adan, eating, Va, or, Vicharan, walking, Swapan, sleeping, Swasan, breathing, Dadarsha, Shwa, Chakra, the disc weapon, Ayudham, in his hand, Agrataha, before himself, Yataha, because, Tat, that, Eva, same, Rupam, personal form, Durabapam, very difficult to achieve, Apa, he achieved. Okay. The translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Kamsa had always been disturbed by the thought that the Supreme Lord was to kill him. Therefore, when drinking, eating, moving about, sleeping, simply breathing, the king had always seen the Lord before him with the disc weapon in his hand. Thus Kamsa achieved the rare boon of attaining a form like the Lord's. Please repeat. Kamsa had always been disturbed by the thought that the Supreme Lord was to kill him. Therefore, when drinking, eating, moving about, sleeping, or simply breathing, the king had always seen the Lord before him with the disc weapon in his hand. Thus Kamsa achieved the rare boon of attaining the form like the Lord's. Purport. Although born out of fear, Kamsa's constant meditation on the Supreme Lord eradicated all his offenses, and therefore the demon was liberated upon his death at the Lord's hand. The demon was liberated upon his death at the Lord's hand. Okay, so we move on. 40. Tasyanuja bhratarashto kankanyagrodhakadayah avyadhavan natikruddha dhatu nirveshakarinah. Kamsa's 8 younger brothers, led by Kanka and Nyagrodha, then attacked the lords in a rage, seeking to avenge their brother's death. 41. Tathati ravasamstanstu samyattan rohini sutah ahan parigamudyamya pashu nivamrigadipah. As they ran swiftly toward the two lords, ready to strike, the son of Rohini slew them with his club, just as a lion easily kills other animals. 42. Nedur dundubhayo vyomni brahmeshadya vibhutaya pushpai kirantastam prita shashanshurna ritu striya. Kettle drums resounded in the sky as Brahma, Shiva, and other demigods, the Lord's expansions, rained down flowers upon him with pleasure. They chanted his praises, and their wives danced. And 43. Tesham Sriyo Maharaja Surin Marana Dukkita Tatha Tatrabhiyur Vinignantyah Shirshanya Sruvilochana. My dear king, the wives of Kamsa and his brothers, aggrieved by the death of their well-wishing husbands, came forward with tearful eyes, beating their heads. 44. Shayanan virashayayam patinalingya shochati vilepu shushwaram naryo visrijantyo moho shuchah. Embracing their husbands who lay on a hero's final bed, the sorrowful women loudly lamented while shedding constant tears. 45. Ha natha priyadharmagya karuna natha vatsala kaya hatena nihata vayante sagriha praja. The woman cried out, Alas, O Master, O dear one, O knower of religious principles, O kind and compassionate protector of the shelterless, by your being slain, we have also been slain, together with your household and offsprings. 46. Tvaya virahita patya puriyam purusharashabha na shobhate vayamiva nivrittotsava mangala. O great hero among men, bereft of you, its master, this city has lost its beauty just as we have, and all festivity and good fortune within it have come to an end. And 47. Anagasam tam bhutanam kritavan drohamulvanam tene mam bhodasham nito bhutadrukko labhetasham. O dear one, you have been brought to this state. You have been brought to this state because of the terrible violence you committed against innocent creatures. How can one who harms others attain happiness? So there's a little purport here by Srila Prabhupada. Having impressed their sentimental grief, the ladies now speak practical wisdom. They are beginning to see things realistically because their minds are purified by the agony of the recent events and by the association of Lord Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna. So it's a nice, wonderful description of the pastimes of the Lord, which is the narration here is the killing of Kamsa. In yesterday's description, Shesha Prabhu has described very nicely how Lord jumped up and grabbed the hairs of Kamsa and threw him down the stairs. The Hare Krishna. Can you hear me? Yeah, there you go. So this was the kind of auditorium, you know. So in the auditorium you see the steps, so how many? So many steps. So the audience are sitting all around, and then the fighting arena was at the bottom, and then Kamsa must be sitting much higher than everybody else, right? So many stairs. You can imagine. So Krishna, after killing all these, these wrestlers, quickly jumped up, to grab the hair of Kamsa. And you see, when people are performing the drama, they put artificial hair. So if you catch the hair of them, there will be only hair on your hand. But that was not a wick. It was not. It was real hair of Kamsa's head. So when Krishna grabbed the hair of Kamsa, it was so forcefully done. And Chalat Kiritam, it says that the crown immediately fell off. Crown has no place on his head. So Krishna grabbed Kamsa's head, the hair, and he threw him down the stairs. So finally he got to the fighting area, sliding down or rolling down. And Krishna comes there and without any weapon, by hands, he's striking in his chest. That indicates that he is so sinful, and plus he killed Krishna's own brothers. Krishna's own brothers have been killed by Kamsa. So you are, great enemy of mine, because you are giving trouble to my family. I will not kill you with the weapon. Rather, I'll kill you with my own, beating of the fist. That also reminds you the end of Mahabharata, when Ashwatthama came in, while Drishtadyumna was still sleeping. It was at night time, middle of the night. Ashwatthama attacked, and he found, first of all, Drishtadyumna was the first one, and he got in him really heavy, because Drishtadyumna was the one who killed Ashwatthama's father, Dronacharya. So it was, the agony was, sitting in Ashwatthama's heart. That one day I will smash him, I will kill him, Pashumaram amarayat, it says. It's like somebody beats animal without any mercy. Like that, he was beating him. So Krishna did the same here to Kamsa. Tasyu parishtat swayam abjanavaha papata vishwasraya atmatantra. Lord Krishna jumped on, papata, he fell on, or he jumped on the chest of Kamsa. Abjanava, and it's not now he's not a real little baby. Baby could jump on the father's chest. It doesn't hurt, right? So here Abjanava means you can imagine the Lord lying on the what's called Shirodakshai. What's called ocean, yeah. And then the Abjanava, from his lotus navel, the lotus grows. From his lotus navel, the lotus grows. And then Brahma is sitting on top of it, And the form of Mahavishnu is great, It's not like a little baby. And Brahma is on top of it, on the lotus, and on top of that lotus is Brahma. That would be much even heavier. So that Vishwasraya, and he, another adjective here is Vishwasraya. He is the shelter of the whole universe. The one who can give shelter to the whole universe, how great he could be, and then how great and how heavy could be. So that Lord now he is, on the chest of Kamsa, because he's Atmatantra, he's independent. Who can check him? Even the Kamsa, the king of Mathuresha, such a great king, great demon, and having so many demon and demoness associates, have been finally killed by this little boy. So he's independent. He could be a boy. He could be as great as Mahavishnu. It could be anything. So by jumping of Krishna on the chest of Kamsa, the Kamsa finally have lost his life. Samparetam. 38 says, Samparetam Vijakarsha Bhumau. Samparetam means he's already left, he's gone, finished. There was not much fighting with him. He simply threw him down the stairs, and that was it. That's called Leela. He can be fighting. He's fighting with the insignificant those wrestlers, and then the great demon, he has to simply throw him down to the stairs, and that's done. Samparetam is gone. And then he drags all around the air now. Why? Just to show that he is no more there. To confirm. Yeah, finished. If he was still alive, he would try to get up and attack again. But there was no more life on him. I heard some comment on this that while Krishna was dragging Kamsa around, Lord Balaram asked, stop now, you don't have to do that much. It's already finished. You don't have to drag around. Why you have to do that? So Krishna gives his comment that even after being killed by my hand, through my own hand, in case if there was still some sin left in him, that will be eradicated. That will be nullified by being dragged in Braja, in the dust of Braj. So therefore he was dragging around. So the finally was when he passed away, and he had the darshan of the Lord, because he had been Krishna conscious throughout his life, at least last 11 years or 20 years. Krishna was born 11 years ago. Krishna came to Mathura after 11 years, right? And before Krishna, there were 7 other brothers born, maybe 10 years before. I don't know exactly. It may be like 20 years, 25 years. Since he heard he would be killed by Devaki's 8th child. So since then he had been thinking, Krishna is coming, or Vishnu is coming to kill me. So he would always think. And after Krishna's birth, it became more intense. How intense? Pivan adan vicharan swapan swasan. While drinking also. While drinking. Then in the movie they show that his servant brings a water to drink, and he sees, something there. It must be Vishnu. And he throws. He cannot drink. While eating food, you see something black there. No, black means Krishna. So no, this is Krishna. He's going to kill me. He can't eat. He can do, but he can always think, there is Krishna. He says, Krishna is going to kill me any time. He's been Krishna conscious throughout all that time. Pivan, adan, vicharan, while walking around. Swapan, while sleeping also he could see. He can feel the presence of Krishna, because he's afraid of death. He's afraid of death, therefore he can always imagine something is there. If you walk through the dense forest alone, you can imagine. You can always imagine that there is something going to kill me, or I'll be in trouble, or something. It's always there is a fear. Srila Prabhupada was describing how what was that fear? I forget the term. He was mentioning. Srila Prabhupada. Dread of fear. So if you walk alone through the forest, you are in that situation. You could, maybe somebody else, maybe some tiger will come, maybe some dacoit will come, maybe something will happen, or something else. It's always there is a fear. So Krishna has a fear of death. It was already mentioned that he will be killed. And so he can always think of that possibility that I will be killed now or later, any time. So in that way he always thinking of Krishna, even though it is not favorable way, but somehow as in the purport. The purport says that although born out of fear comes as constant meditation on the Supreme Lord, eradicated all his offenses. So even though he was as demon, he had done lots of crime and sin, and giving trouble to the Lord, it's offense. He was offensive. But because of thinking of Krishna in this way, he became offenseless. And finally he got direct touch of the Lord, Lord's lotus hand. And by being killed by Krishna, he was liberated. He became, he didn't have to go hell. He became Tadeva Rupam Duravapam Apa. So he achieved the form of, he achieved the liberation of Sharupya. Means that he could have the same form as the Vaikuntavasis. The Vaikuntavasis have form of, like Lord Narayana, Lord Vishnu, have 4 arms, and they hold a Sangha Chakra Gada Padma. Only difference is that they don't have peacock feather on their crown and Kaustubha mani in their chest. The rest is the smell. The same. So Tadeva Rupam Duravapam Apa. It is difficult to achieve that kind of liberation. Even though it is said in Bhagavatam that Krishna gives liberation. Whoever worship him, Krishna wants to give. He wants to give mukti, but not bhakti. It is easy for him to give mukti and finish with him, with anybody who is worshipping him. Somebody is worshipping him, somebody is chanting his name, somebody is chanting his glories, so much, and constantly. And Krishna is eager to just give some liberation and have done with it. Muktim dadati smanakar hichit bhakti yogam. Krishna is preserving that bhakti. That has to be given to really, really qualified person, not to everyone. So Kamsa had thought of Krishna in the envious way or out of fear of his death. So that was not favorable devotional service. But at least he remembered Krishna, therefore he was given this mukti. Narada Muni gives different examples in 7th canto, chapter 1. How people get liberated. What are those people who got liberated in different ways? Gopyah kamat bhayat kamsu. Kansa had fear. Gopis with the lusty desires. Even though their lust was totally to please Krishna, and it is not compared to our this material lust. Their lust is transcendental because they simply wanted to please Krishna. So, but still, in the material world, the love of gopis is calculated as lust, because that much only they can perceive. In Natya Shastra it is mentioned. I forget the line. Tadeva goparamanam kama ityagamat pratham. Premaiva goparamanam. The love, the transcendental love that the gopis had to Krishna, the same love when we talk about that love in this material world, that is calculated as kama, lust. So anyway, so we can still talk about the gopis attained Krishna with their lusty desires. And Kamsa achieved liberation because he was thinking of Krishna out of fear. Dveshat Chaidyadayo Nripa. Chaidya means Shishupal. Shishupal and so on, other his associates. They attain liberation simply having dvesha. Dvesha to Krishna. Dvesha means enmity. Krishna is my enemy. Yudhishthira Maharaj describes how Shishupal was thinking about Krishna all the time. Even when he was a little baby, he couldn't even talk, but he was always utter something about Krishna. This rascal black boy, he's giving me trouble. He makes me yawn, or he makes me sneeze, or he makes me fall down, or something like that. Whenever he got something trouble, he always cursed Krishna. However, he would always make some bad name for Krishna. So in this way, he would always think of him as enemy. I must finish him someday, one day. So when Krishna was being worshipped in Rajasuya Yajna, so he comes up criticizing him. You such and such, all kinds of stuff, whatever he had compiled, he spoke out. You have no father, no mother, or who knows who you are, who knows who your parents are. Nobody knows. Nobody even knows you are Kshatriya or Vaishya or nothing. And you stole the garments of gopis, you stole the butters and this and that. So many things. It goes on and on. It's an enemy. He found a good moment to criticize him because everybody is worshipping him. You stand up and criticize him, that will be the best preaching on part of the Shishupal. I'm going to best preaching now today. I'll deviate everybody else by criticizing Krishna. But what happened? Things were not under his control. So finally he lost his life by criticizing Krishna. And Sambandhat Vrishnayaha, all Vrishni Vansis, the family of Krishna, and the family where he took birth, all those people got liberation because simply having a relationship with him. And Snehad Yuyam, and you, Narada Muni is saying you, all Pandavas, you also getting liberation, you will also be liberated simply by having affection to him. And Bhaktya Vayam, Narada Muni is saying we, as his devotees, we are his devotees. So we will be liberated by chanting the holy name, by performing devotional service. So Yuyam Bhaktya Vayam. So he is counting himself in the list. You, because of affection, and we, because of our devotion, we perform our devotion to Krishna. So, Rupa Goswami mentioned that Yena Kena Prakarena Manaha Krishna Niveshayat. Somehow or other, however is possible. Somehow or other, you just make your mind attached to Krishna. Make your mind attached to Krishna. As Madan Mohan Prabhu also expressed that we were a member of Krishna's family, but because we forgot him, now we have to remember, we have to reunite, remember. So, yena kena prakarena, somehow or other, just think of Krishna, somehow or other, And Radha Govinda Maharaj used to say, even your mind is not there, still you think of Krishna, you still chant the holy name, You keep chanting the holy name, and one day the mind, whatever it may be wandering, it will come back to the point, yes, I must surrender to Krishna. There's no other way. Hare Namaiva Kevalam. And then the story as we have read, Tasyanuja Bhratarastau Kanka Nyagrodhakadayaha. There were 8, Kansa had 8 brothers, I didn't know that. We have to go back to 9th canto and find out that Kansa had 8 more brothers, Kanka and Nyagrodha. And they ran after Krishna and Balaram to attack. Atikruddha is very, very angry. And Balaram, with his club is mentioned here as Parigha. Parigha, the club is such a weapon that it can hit from any side. The sword has one particular side to go, like this. Or arrow, just one way goes. Then any weapon can only attack in one way. The Parigha, the club, is any side. Because it's round. It's round, it can hit from any side. Or even you can hurl around like this. It can, it can attack, it can finish the people like that. But Parigam Udyamya, Lord Balaram raised his club, and then he finished them all. Pashuni Bambrigadipa, just as tiger can easily defeat and kill animals in the forest. Sanedur Dundubhayo Vyomni Brahmeshadya Vibhutayaha. Brahma, Shiva, and other demigods, plus the other incarnation of the Lord, also up here on the sky, and then they Pushpai Kiranta, they showered flowers, and the demigods the Gandharvas started beating the drums, and the wives of demigods, they started to dance. Sasansu Nandritu Jagu. They were singing the glories of the Lord. Jai Ho, Hare Krishna. And then they all danced, and someone commented that when Lord Krishna, all Krishna's incarnations, when they come and do something great in this, they accomplish their goal, and then the demigod come and shower the flowers upon the Lord, just to make him happy, because they couldn't come in front of the demons. Each time, like Hiranyakashipu was killed and Hiranyaksha was killed, and they always come and shower the flowers, because they personally cannot fight with those demons. And when the Lord came, and he did the job, and just to recognize his greatness and glorify him, they come and shower flowers. Tesham Striyo Maharaja Surit Marana Dukhita. And so the wives of these 8 brothers of Kamsa, and Kamsa's wives also, they were grieving. Tatrabhiyur Vinigdhantyah Shirushanyasru Vilochana. Shedding tears, they came and they were beating their head. Oh my God, they all died. I told you. They must be saying, I told you, don't kill these innocent creatures. Now we see then also Mandodari many times he tried to stop Ravana from doing nonsense, but he doesn't care. A demon is a demon. And even though being the wives of demons, they are chaste, and maybe they are more in the state of goodness, I guess, because they can see the things, as they can perceive what was going to happen. But the demons, because they're all they're covered by their illusory potency, they cannot accept and then go for it. So now the wives of Kamsa's brothers, they're saying, yes, it goes on here, 47. And the 47, they said, "Oh dear one, you have been brought to this state because of the terrible violence you committed against innocent creatures. How can one who harms others attain happiness? How can one who harms others attain happiness?" That means violence that the Kamsa and his brothers had done in the order of Kamsa. So that's the fate they meet now at the end. So it reminds me how Parikshit Maharaj said in the beginning that, what is that called? Puman virajyeta vina pashugnat, right? Puman virajyeta, vina pashugnat. What's the translation? Yeah. Puman virajyeta vina pashugnat means the glories of the Lord is not to be avoided. It's not to be avoided. I mean, those who are in mode of goodness, those who are free from violence, they can only appreciate the glories of the Lord. And Vina Pashugnat means the one who is Pashugna, means he is killing the Pashus, animals or innocent creatures. Pashu means innocent creatures. And Pashu means animals also. So one who is free from killing the innocent animals, free from violence, can only appreciate the glories of the Lord, appreciate the greatness of the spiritual life. Until then, it is not possible for them to grasp anything spiritual, any topic of the spiritual life. So having expressed their sentimental grief, the ladies now speak practical wisdom. They are beginning to see things realistically because their minds were purified by the agony of the recent events and by the association of Lord Krishna. So by being in the association of Krishna, I guess they were simply seeing Krishna, how he was performing all this. So finally they are purified and they can see that our husbands are killed because they were involved in the terrible violence and harassing the devotees, innocent devotees. So, andantamaha pravishanti ye shambhutim upashate. So those who are taking path of asambhuti or the non-beneficial, the path of inauspicious path, they will have to enter in the dark the dark region, dark regions, or hell, practically. I had not prepared so much because this morning Mother Akuti had just approached me and asked. I couldn't say no, so I spoke whatever I could gather in a few minutes. So I will stop here and ask for any comments. Yes, Trivikram Prabhu.
Quick comment and then a question. For such a short notice, really, I mean, you're to the point here. Yeah, this point about being enmity, friendship, and so with the Lord came up during the Rajasuya when Yudhishthira saw Shishupal merge into Krishna. He asked Narad, but this guy was so envious of Krishna. How is it? And then Narad said, the way we see things in dualities, the Lord does not see like that. See, you can become attached to the Lord in so many different ways, and he explained like how you did nicely. But he says, don't be like Vena. Vena could not think of the Lord in any way whatsoever.
The next point.
See, he could not think of the Lord in any of these different ways.
Yeah, Vena could not attain liberation because he was not categorized any one of those.
Yeah. So I have a quick question for you. The Kshatriyas, they used to kill and eat meat. So I mean, but we know so many of them, they were able to think about the Lord. You know, remember you make that quote that people, how do you explain
I'm not sure that's exactly that they have to eat meat, therefore they are killing. But, they are killing animals in the forest simply for the protection of the, those hermitages, rishis, munis who are living in the forest, for their protection, actually. I never come across that the Kshatriya has to really necessarily eat meat and therefore they are killing. No. It's for the protection. The ferocious animals would not harm the rishis who are performing the tapasya's and austerities in the forest. For their protection they were killing those ferocious animals, not any innocent creatures. Yes.
So you said that bhakti is meant only for really, really qualified people, not everyone. So the cynic in one might request that, can you recommend a process for us in the Kali Yuga, where we're fallen and full of faults and disqualified and unfortunate?
So, we are fortunate to be in Kali Yuga, so Lord Chaitanya had given the process for patitas, the fallen conditioned souls. So that we are in right track. We are in right track, and taking the instruction given by Lord Chaitanya that you simply chant the holy name, and you will be taken care. So we are simply doing what Lord Chaitanya have given for this, what is proper for this age and what is proper for ourselves, like who are really patita. And is that okay?
Prabhu, I believe Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Krishna Samhita delineates the, when he compares the slaying of different demons in Braj to the eradication of different anarthas. Did he expand that to the killing of Kamsa? Does that represent the slaying of any particular anartha?
It is there. I don't remember exactly. It is also described. I think one time Bhadra Prabhu was giving class here many years ago, and he described all different demons, what they represent. I can remember those, but it is there.
Because this is outside of Braj, First pastime outside.
Mathura is still Braj.
Well, okay. Then I had another question. These with Kamsa's next situation, of Sarupya, one would assume that he's practicing Uttama Bhakti in that situation. Am I correct? I mean, he's on that. If he's got the same body, and then that's what it's for. To render service.
Let me ask you, Shesha Prabhu will give some comments.
That's what goes with that type of body. So it would seem that we could mentally speculate for the purpose of understanding the pastime. So that's bona fide. That would be the case.
I failed on that.
Hare Krishna, thanks for a wonderful class. So, even though underprepared, you did very well. And I'm just wondering, I thought you said in the class that Krishna had family members that forgot him. Did I hear that correctly?
Say that again?
That Krishna had family members who forgot him? I thought you had said that.
No, what I said was Kamsa had killed Krishna's family members, his brothers, and he troubled his parents so much. That's what I said.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Hare Krishna. When Kalyapani asked that question, I had also thought about that when you mentioned that verse about bhakti being so rarely given. And I thought of the 7th chapter of the Adi Lila, where Lord Chaitanya and his associates broke open the storehouse of love of God and did not discriminate who was a fit candidate and who was not. But whenever they got the opportunity, they distributed love of God. So we're very fortunate.
Yes, thank you.
Also, I'd like to ask, when you mentioned that Krishna dragged Kamsa because he wanted to completely eradicate all of his sins, where is that reference you made that from?
I think I heard this from Radha Govinda Maharaj. I mean, it is mentioned here that Krishna dragged, right? Shashak Prabhu was explaining yesterday. Krishna dragged the body around the arena. So that was his comment, or somehow that came there. That Lord Balaram said, no, you don't have to do that much. Don't worry, it's just already finished. So he said, no, in case there is some, still
we can see in our own lives, whenever there is some ordeal or tribulation, some suffering, and we've taken up the process of devotional service, we could see this as the Lord mercifully continuing to extend His mercy by wringing out whatever vestiges of sinful tendencies we still have. Is that correct?
Yeah. Thank you. Janmashtami Prabhu has a question.
There's a pretty good reference in response to Kaliyapani Prabhu's point. It's 11.538, and this is just after the famous 11.532, Krishna Varnam Tushar Krishnam. And then there's a description of how intelligent persons worship Kali Yuga because Yuga Dharma is so powerful that people can be elevated to the highest levels of Krishna consciousness. And then that's 37, and then 38, it describes how the residents of Satyuga are waiting to take birth in Kali Yuga. And then in the purporting, it's pretty amazing because it says in Satyuga, there's practically no sin. So people are all in mode of goodness. And they're not actually satisfied with such a simple thing, even though, even in that age, if people chanted the holy name, there'd be tremendous potency for spiritual elevation. And then it describes how the suffering is so intense in Kali Yuga because of the level of sinful activity that people are forced to take shelter of the holy name, and they can genuinely cry because they're suffering so much. So that's really a large part of our qualification. We're so fallen, and but what's pretty. This is all in the purporting. It's all very close to the commentaries of the acharyas. But it seems like it's an integral part of the Yuga Dharma. It's specifically, because Pran Govinda Prabhu in Saturday night's class was quoting from the Adi Purana. There's something I only found it once in folio. This is from Gaur Govinda Swami, that when one cries to Krishna, then Krishna's purchased by that crying. So this was the kind of the primary instruction Prabhupada gave, on chanting, the genuine cry of a child for its mother. So there's this correlation between the hellish conditions in Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma, the crying, and how we can actually make much more advancement in Kali Yuga because of Lord Chaitanya's mercy than in Satya Yuga.
Yeah, in Kali Yuga we are given better facility and easier process to attain, the liberation or going back to Godhead. Therefore, it is said also that even the demigods want to take birth in this, in this planet. So that is the, that makes us more fortunate, more qualified to perform devotional service. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.